We have absolutely massive breaking news right now. A Texas Trump-appointed judge just ruled that the Republican Party's maps in Texas that gerrymandered the state of Texas, they're unlawful, and Texas Republicans cannot use them heading into the midterm elections in 2026. This is an absolutely stunning bombshell ruling that no one saw coming, because now Texas Republicans will be forced to use the maps drawn in 2021 and will eliminate the 5 new Republican-held seats in the Texas House of Representatives. I need your help to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Spread this everywhere. Now, apologies if it's a little loud. I am out and about, but I wanted to make sure you had a full update because I just went through this ruling by Judge Brown. He is a Trump-appointed judge. He is a Republican through and through, and yet the Texas judges said, you know what? These maps cannot stand because they are racially gerrymandered. They are meant to prevent Republicans, or rather meant to prevent Democrats from having majority black districts in the state of Texas. So I want to break down this stunning ruling with you. It begins by Jeffrey V. Brown, the United States judge, saying in August of 2025, the state of Texas enacted a new electoral map to govern elections for the United States House of Representatives, dubbed the 2025 map. Claiming that the 2025 map is racially discriminatory, 6 groups of plaintiffs asked the courts to preliminary enjoin the state from using the 2025 map for the 2026 elections. For the reasons explained below, the court preliminarily enjoins the state from using the 2025 map. The court orders that the 2026 congressional election in Texas shall proceed under the map that the Texas legislature enacted in 2021, dubbed the 2021 map. When the Trump administration reframed its request as a demand to redistrict congressional seats based on their racial makeup, Texas lawmakers immediately jumped on board. On July 7th, Harmeet Dillon, the head of the Civil Rights Division at the Department of Justice, sent a letter to the governor and attorney general of Texas making the legally incorrect assertion that 4 congressional districts in Texas were unconstitutional because they were called coalition districts, majority non-white districts in which no single racial group constituted a 50% majority. In the letter, DOJ threatened legal action if Texas didn't immediately dismantle and redraw these districts, a threat based entirely on their racial makeup. Notably, the DOJ letter targeted only majority non-white districts. Any mention of majority white Democrat districts, which DOJ presumably would have also targeted if its aims were partisan rather than racial, were conspicuously absent. It goes on to say that the legislature adopted those racial objectives. The redistricting bill sponsors made numerous statements suggesting that they had intentionally manipulated the district's lines to create more majority Hispanic and majority black districts. The bill's sponsor statements suggest they adopted those changes because such a map would be an easier sell than a purely partisan one. The Speaker of the House also issued a press release celebrating that the bill satisfactorily addressed DOJ's concerns. Other high-ranking legislators stated in media interviews that the legislature had redistricted not for the political goal of appeasing President Trump, nor of gaining 5 Republican House seats, but to achieve DOJ's racial goal of eliminating coalition districts. The map ultimately passed by the legislature and signed by the governor. The 2025 map achieved all but one of the racial objectives the DOJ demanded. The legislature dismantled and left unrecognizable not only all of DOJ's districts identified in the letter, but also several other coalition districts around the state. For these reasons and other reasons, the plaintiff groups are likely to prove at trial that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map, so we preliminarily enjoy Texas's 2025 map. This is a stunning decision because many people expected that this map to fly through and essentially pass with all flying colors. The courts would uphold it. It's Texas. These are conservative judges. These are Trump-appointed judges. Nothing's going to end up happening. And well, it is a Trump-appointed judge. It is Texas. And he just struck it down. He struck it down because it was a racial gerrymander. Now, looking at this in the future, they're going to appeal this to the Fifth Circuit. They're going to appeal this to the United States Supreme Court. And they may very well win. But it's going to take some time, which means that heading into 2026, Texas Republicans are now scrambling because their gerrymander that was supposed to pick up 5 additional House seats for Republicans to ensure that Speaker Mike Johnson could theoretically keep the majority in the House of Representatives, that is completely in doubt right now. And truth be told, if I had to guess, there is a real chance that essentially this map is not upheld heading into 2026. And it gets even worse for Republicans now, because after Texas Republicans decided to gerrymander their state, Democrats went ahead and did the same. California passed the new maps, picking up 5 congressional seats for Democrats in California. You had other states doing the same. And then at the same time, a state like Indiana is refusing to gerrymander. A state like Ohio, Republicans cut a deal with Democrats to not make it such a bad gerrymander. In Utah, Democrats picked up a seat after a court ruling. And so now Democrats are up 6 seats if this holds in the House of Representatives. It is an absolute bloodbath for Republicans in the House of Representatives heading into 2026. They will not be able to win the House of Representatives. Mike Johnson will not be Speaker if this result holds. I mean, it's as simple as that. Because the 5 seats that Texas Republicans wanted to get rid of, wanted to gerrymander, many of them are Democratic held, many of them are Democratic majority, many of them are very strong Democratic majority. And it's interesting that this ruling didn't overturn the maps based on the fact that it was just a purely partisan political grab, but rather it was based on the racial aspect of it. Because what Texas Republicans were trying to do is get rid of these black majority districts. Now, I will say all of this has a major caveat, and that is the United States Supreme Court. Right now, the Supreme Court is considering a case that could completely gut the Voting Rights Act. Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act permits race-based districting or race-based districts. And so theoretically, if the Supreme Court guts the Voting Rights Act, which it is poised to do come mid-next year, then this decision may be preempted, it may be overturned. And as a result, you may have a situation where Texas has to redraw maps heading into 2026. But all of that's to say is that even if that happens, there'll be very little time between June of when the Supreme Court rules and the November elections. And as a result, they're going to have no choice, in my opinion, than to go with the 2021 maps. And the 2021 maps are exactly what the Republican Party didn't want. The Republican Party wanted these new 2025 maps because they all but ensure that Republicans in the House of Representatives pick up 5 additional seats. And right now, they're not going to get that. In fact, they're going to get the opposite. Democrats are going to be able to probably pick up or keep the 5 seats. This is a stunning decision. It completely undermines the Republican Party's plans heading into 2026. I don't know what the Republican Party is going to do next other than appeal. So we're going to have to see what happens. I will provide you updates, as always, even in a loud food court in the mall. But I want to make sure you have the updates in real time. So please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support my work. And I will have another update for you very soon once the House votes on the Epstein Files petition.